Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity on live stream only today. We're going to get back to normal here soon. We've had a major COVID experience in our family this last few weeks, and this last week it became very dire for Shad Groverland, and I shared that at the meditation on Wednesday, and I had so many prayers being sent our way. On Thursday morning, my father almost lost his life and got rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. Since then, they have gotten him to a point of being stable, and he's improving a little bit every day, and we're really, really grateful for all your prayers. I do want to thank a few angels that came forward that did some wonderful things to make it possible for us to help him survive this phase. I want to thank Ed Bruder, who came forward with some amazing machinery that we needed. I want to thank everyone that reached out to us. I want to thank CJ Lawrence for giving us medical advice as we were going through it. And I want to thank my brothers for coming in and trying to help with all of it. It's been a really trying time. So I'm just grateful that we're standing here and that my dad is healing every minute, that we just keep praying over him and seeing him coming back into his wholeness and his physical strength. So I'm so very grateful. So I want to let you know that next week, I believe we're going to be back in live, like in person. We're going to have a meeting about it tomorrow, and we will send an email out to you. We will also put it on our website at unityofboulder.com. So I'm not 100% sure we'll be back in person, but if we are, you can see it on the website, or you will see it in the email that we'll send out, and we'll also put it in the newspaper as well. So today, we're going to have some special music shared with you. It's a pre-recorded number that was performed back in 2019, and it's called Get Ready, My Soul by Daniel Namad, and it will be performed by Erna, Dinah, and Sierra. Enjoy. I sure miss the blend that those three ladies had together. You know, they eventually went on to start a group called Alethea Rising, and they performed all over Boulder for a while, and then Erna moved back to Unity Village with my brother, because Erna is my sister-in-law, and now Alethea Rising's just Dinah and Sierra, and it's just as beautiful, but I miss Erna being around here and that beautiful voice that she shared with us for a few years. It was certainly a gift. So now we have an awesome opportunity to listen to a sermon that was recorded just for you today from Shad Groverland, who is my brother, and he's also the CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries. He so graciously did this for me because he knew I was at the side of my dad, taking care of my dad hourly. I have not slept at all in a week, and I needed support, I needed help, and I can't tell you how people came to support and help handle my children, and handle life, while I could just completely focus on my beloved father. So I think you're going to really enjoy this talk. I watched it, I loved it, and so here you are, Shad Groverland.
Hello, my Unity family and friends. I am Reverend Shad Groverland, the Executive Director of Unity Worldwide Ministries. Now let me talk about movements and causes. Any kind of movement or cause and group of people behind a cause will come to a point where they ask themselves, where do we go from here? Now often in times like this, there's a special someone who sort of rises to the occasion and moves the cause forward. Someone who creates a breakthrough and takes it to the next level. Now in a fantastical sense, this someone is often prophesied as the chosen one. Now we have some images here of some chosen ones we recognize from movies and history. Now don't get judgy about the picture of Jesus. We don't know what kind of physique he might have had. Anyway, these chosen ones carry a lot of weight and are game changers for the cause or the movement itself. And of course, there are modern day ones as well, which we see here. Some faces you likely recognize. Those that may not recognize her, we have Reverend Dr. Ruth Mosley, the founder of the Unity Urban Ministerial School, where I was ordained, and who was a chosen one in the Unity movement, who chose to do something about a problem she saw with how we are treating people of color in our movement. But the difference between the set of characters in the first slide and the second slide is that the first ones were prophesied and chosen before they were born, and the ones on the right, the second ones, recognized something needed to change and chose themselves to do something about it. Now in our Unity movement today, we are at one of those points where we are asking, where do we go from here? We have had a fruitful journey thus far, but we have also recently hit what you might call a lull or a stall in our path. And this is not specific to Unity. It has affected just about every religion and faith on the planet today. But since I am the Executive Director of Unity Worldwide Ministries, I will speak to our situation today, or rather, I'll speak to our opportunity. Now let me start by asking you this. Have you ever felt out of place in the world as it is today? Perhaps like you might be from another planet watching this one go mad. Well, if you do, or if you've ever felt this way, I want to share this with you. When you are born in a world you don't fit in, it's because you are born to help create a new one. Did you know you are one of the chosen ones? Not that you have been chosen by someone else to fix a problem for them, but rather, if you recognize something that can be fixed, you have chosen yourself to fix it. That is how Spirit works. It doesn't choose you, it reveals a choice to you. So I told you I would speak about unity today, as that is my area of expertise, but first, I need to let you know why unity. Every issue we face as a human family is an issue rooted in human consciousness. There is not an issue on this planet today that does not have its roots in the shortcomings and flawed thinking of human consciousness. And in Unity, we are in the business of fixing flawed thinking and lifting up shortcomings in consciousness. So in essence, what we teach and do here in Unity fixes the root cause of every issue or problem we face on the planet today. That is why when I get overwhelmed at the idea of how many issues are out there, I simply remember the one solution for them all is unity. Well, let me clarify that a bit. Unity is not always perfect. Not always perfect in its execution and how it shows up in the world. Our imperfect past is evidence of that. But when unity stays rooted in its principles and practices what it preaches and works as a united front, unity is the solution. So that being said, where do we go from here? In many ways, we need to make sure unity is the best it can be because the world needs unity. And if we are showing up as less than our potential, we are selling the world short on the solution it is looking for. So let me share a bit of history. In the early days of Unity, there were no churches or ministries as we recognize them today. It was just a collection of individuals studying Unity ideas as put forth by our Unity co-founders Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. Now the Fillmores started sharing these ideas in publications that went all around the world over time. Gradually, around the world, other groups of individuals also started gathering together to study these Unity ideas. These groups grew and started to become established ministries and churches. But unlike other denominations, there wasn't a formalized process in Unity for planting these early churches. They just grew out of gatherings of like-minded individuals doing small group work together. I share that to point out a possible ripple that it created through Unity time. Because these groups emerged from their own individual effort. They were independent of any centralized organizational effort. Initially, it was a beautiful, organic process that unfolded through spirit, simply held together by the shared message they were all studying from the Fillmores, the source. But if you have ever been part of a group or business that rapidly grows, at some point that initial organic approach needs a system to support it. A direction, a focus, some sort of glue that holds it all together. Otherwise, the cats will always win. So in 1966, Unity Worldwide Ministries was created, initially under the name the Association of Unity Churches, to help manage and work with and oversee our field ministries. But here is the issue it has faced from the point it started. The ministries had spent so long celebrating their independence that there was now a resistance to organization or a unified effort. And in fact, much of that remains true today. The ripple of independence that created the ministries began as a tool for innovation and creativity, but gradually morphed into a reason for isolation and resistance to organization and change. This independence ripple can affect the ministry leadership, the individuals in the ministries, and even Unity Worldwide Ministries itself. Now, I want to give you an example of how this plays out. In ministry, there is something called the glass ceiling, which is a known issue that happens when a ministry reaches around 100 congregants, let's say. A single minister with roughly 100 congregants will not grow beyond that size unless they have a system and additional leadership to help. Fundamentally, a single minister cannot do all that needs to be done when a ministry approaches 100 people. And if that minister doesn't have the means, the awareness, or the ability to get help, they will have created a glass ceiling that keeps that ministry from growing. I should know. I was smacking up against that ceiling all the time in my first ministry in Las Vegas, Nevada. So now imagine that ministry is Unity Worldwide Ministries, and the congregants are the ministries themselves. At about 100 ministries, we needed a system, a centralized organizational effort to help this movement grow and stay on course. As we grew to 600 ministries worldwide, Unity Worldwide Ministries would hire more staff to try and compensate and keep up. But the organized system itself was still lacking. That seed of independence was still resisting a centralized and organized effort, leading to ministries doing ministry however they saw fit at the time. Well, now, that might work for an individual ministry, allowing them to be creative and do whatever works for them. But it doesn't really work for a collection of ministries or a whole movement together. Individuality can and is great, but a group of individuals building a skyscraper without a unified plan, well, that's a building that I do not want to go in. After all, the root of the word unified is unity. If we are all heading in different directions, how do we remain unified? And let me remind you why this matters. The world needs unity. But the world can't find unity if it doesn't have a unified voice or a unified direction. And this ripple of independence has also led to another setback worth noting here, which will require a little more history. Now, I was born in the Unity movement in 1976. And from my perspective, I would say that I grew up in its heyday. As a child in Unity, our ministry was packed with people, energy, and vitality. When we would go to Unity Village for our summer youth camp as kids, there were 400 to 500 other youth there with us. But something happened in Unity. That same youth camp has about 40 to 50 today. Maybe this will help us understand what happened. Iron rusts from disuse. Stagnant water loses its purity, and in cold weather becomes frozen. Even so does inaction sap the vigors of the mind. You see, things need to move, to flow, to grow, evolve, and regenerate over time. If they sit still, they go stagnant, and the flow starts to move around them, leaving them behind or dissolving them completely. Now, let me share with you a very real and personal story of what I'm talking about. When I went to college, my first year of college was at the College of Santa Fe in Santa Fe, New Mexico. This was my first year away from my home church at Unity of Boulder. I was out on my own now. And so I gathered a group of my college friends and I went to look for the local Unity church in our area, Unity of Santa Fe. Now when I got there, it was a very small church and I came from a very large church. So that in itself was a little bit of a shock. But when I went inside, let's just say it wasn't a very youthful feeling. It had a very old feeling. There was a lot of people older than us there, and they were overly excited to see young college-age students come in the door, so much so that they almost attacked us with their excitement, asking us to help them with the church. Now, we were sort of freaked out by that experience. We didn't go back to that church, and I never went back to that church. So let me point out two things worth noting here. Had the congregation done the work of making changes to stay more relevant with the times, more youthful, when my friends and I arrived, we would have had felt more comfortable there. The second issue to point out is, had I taken more ownership of my responsibility in Unity, such as I do today, I would have stuck around to help them make those changes to keep up with the times. So what we have is two very big issues to deal with that come out of this thought system. One, a perspective that thinks things should be the way I like them. Two, a lack of ownership to help create something that works for everyone. Think about the missed opportunity there. At that time, I was probably exactly what that ministry needed to help grow a youth department and update their overall experience to be more attractive to more people. But that was not where my head was at the time, and concurrently, that is not where theirs was either, at least in execution. They saw the potential in me, but they themselves had not worked to create an environment ready for that potential. Now, I would like to address a misnomer or stereotype that is out there, which I believe has created or at least facilitated some of our issues in the world today and some of our missed opportunities in unity. Here we have this quote: "Young people, when informed and empowered, when they realize that what they do truly makes a difference, can indeed change the world." Now, I'm not going to say that Jane Goodall here is wrong. After all, she has far more accolades than I do. But that doesn't mean I can't disagree with part of what she is saying. There is this notion that young people, or the youth, are what is going to save us or are supposed to fix our collective problems. But think about how unfair that is, to put the burden of fixing problems we created on the backs of the next generations, or to use reverse psychology to excite them into doing the work to fix the problems we don't want to fix ourselves. Yes, the youth have great power to effectuate change, and that should be celebrated. But the real issue that should be getting our attention is that we are dumping the necessity for change on them, which I think was so brilliantly pointed out by climate activist Greta Thunberg in her 2019 speech to the United Nations Climate Action Summit. This is what she said: "This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?" Some pretty powerful words from a very young, powerful woman. It is a grave injustice and frankly a disgusting flaw in human consciousness that creates problems that the next generation has to fix. So let me get back to why you and I in unity are the chosen ones. You see, a society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. Would we, the people in unity today, be willing to plant the trees that will create a thriving movement for the unity people of tomorrow? I would imagine all of us would answer yes, and in the back of our minds say, depending on what it would require of me. You see, Greta Thunberg was addressing leaders at the United Nations, none of whom want to create an unhealthy planet, but all of whom are victims of exactly what the rest of us are, which is our programming that tells us to put our own needs over the needs of others, which shows up in ministry by some of us wanting the lights a certain way, the music a certain way, the talks a certain way, the seating a certain way, the building a certain way, the minister to be a certain way. Ultimately, we want unity our way. And all across our movement, I can attest to the fact that many of our 600 churches around the world are in a state of tension between what the current congregation wants and what the future of unity is calling them towards. And really, I think that this is the difference between the unity I grew up in and much of the unity of today. Back then, unity was new to us, and we were excited about growing in unity and growing with unity. But at some point, like tends to naturally happen over time, we got comfortable with unity as it is, and less excited about unity we were helping to create. And that put a logjam in the flow. And I told you about Unity of Santa Fe because I was part of that logjam in my own lack of ownership to help it grow. So much as our society likes to champion the idea that our youth will be the agents of change, so many times our youth hit the glass ceiling of the immobilized generation ahead of them. They run into us and our indifference to the issues, So again, I told you that you are the chosen ones. We are the chosen ones. We make it possible for the next generation to thrive. Luke Skywalker would have gone nowhere without the work of the Resistance and Obi-Wan Kenobi before him. Neo would not have been able to conquer the Matrix without the work of Morpheus and the Resistance in Zion before him. And how many prophets of the Old Testament were preparing the world for the arrival of the ministry of Jesus? When we look at Luke, Neo, Jesus, and the heroes of these stories, they are really just playing the last hole of an 18-hole golf game. The true chosen ones, the true heroes, are the ones who set them up for success in the previous 17 holes. Now let me close out by sharing with you something that has blown my Unity perspective wide open recently. I just met with our Unity Worldwide Ministries International Advisory Council, and in this particular meeting it was primarily representatives from our ministries in Africa. Let that soak in for a second into your consciousness. Our Unity family in Africa. They shared with me that they don't have the resources to get a website going and how crucial a website is in this day and age. They also shared that the students in our Unity International ministerial schools can't afford the books or the tuition, but still sacrifice much of their livelihood to try and pay for them. Overall, I heard them share how long Unity has been focused on the concerns of ministries in the United States and largely ignoring other countries like Africa, who are so hungry for the Unity message, especially the young people. And coincidentally, I had two gentlemen from Africa, unrelated to this group, unrelated to each other, reach out to me on Facebook in just this last month, inquiring about how they can get Unity in their hometown, how they can get involved in Unity. Towns where we don't even have a Unity presence in their country yet. Now I'll read to you what one of them wrote to me after I asked him to share a bit more about what inspired him to reach out to me, what inspired his group to reach out to Unity. Here's what he said. Greetings, Reverend Groverland. I hope you are well and blessed. Thank you very much for your questions, and I'll try to respond to them all. We are about 38 believers, but it can happen that we meet in the number of 65 or 70 persons when we have visitors who come to worship together with us here at Bujumbura. I have another group of 19 persons in another province, in Gazi province, which I sometimes go there and assist them as I can. Yes, we gather regular every week. We are gathering together. I'll try to take pictures and send them to you. We discovered Unity on the internet. I was reading on the internet about your organization. We have fasting prayers. We pray for those who are ill. We have choir songs, Bible study time, etc. We don't have Unity books, except that we read about your beliefs online. Please, if you can send us Unity books, it would be our blessing. We wish affiliation with your ministry. We wish that you can help us to grow spiritually by giving us some teachings which can help us. We wish that we can be Unity Burundi, as you have unity in other countries. We would like to be your children in faith. We want to belong to your ministry. For us, we were meeting at my home, but we are looking how we can start meeting in a meeting room. Our government doesn't allow many people to meet and pray at home like a ministry or church. We found a room. We hope next we will meet in there. The wish of our group is to be like a ministry. That is why I told you we want to be part of your ministry. Please keep us in your prayers. As Tanganyika Lake is destroying houses and goods of people here at Bujumbura, we have believers also who lost their homes, who are in a difficult situation. You can check it out on the internet about Tanganyika flood here at Bujumbura. And that's how he finished it. Oftentimes, we hear something like that. We are inspired to give and try to help, which we should. But let me help you understand the funding model of our movement. Unity Worldwide Ministries serves and supports the Unity ministers and leaders around the world. those ministries and leaders donate back to us to support the work that Unity Worldwide Ministries does. So for Unity Worldwide Ministries to thrive and better support the ministries we have around the world, we need the ministries themselves to thrive in order to be able to better support us. We are the glue that is helping to hold us all together, a unified structure that allows the ministries to walk hand in hand towards our collective calling. And for you, as a chosen one, we need you to help this ministry thrive with your energetic, creative, and financial support. So where do we go from here? I believe the next heyday is just around the corner for Unity, but it will not look like our heydays of the past. It will call upon each of you as the chosen ones to be dedicated and committed to your ministry in the effort of creating an experience that meets the diverse needs of the modern world. When you do this, you will become the answer that everyone is looking for. And by working with Unity Worldwide Ministries, we will help them find you. And that is the truth as I experience it. Thank you. God bless you.
We will take an offering for Unity now. And while we're doing that, there's a few ways that you can tithe, and it's all here on the slide. Text to tithe. You can hit the donate button if you're watching on Facebook and on our website, and we also are streaming on YouTube. So there's different ways to give back to this center, and being only live streamed for the last 3 weeks, it affects the tithes to Unity, and yet we still have a 30,000 square foot building that is sitting here empty as we're dealing with this rise of COVID in Boulder County. So please support the center as we are navigating these really trying times. So with that said, let's take our offerings in our consciousness and in our minds so that they may bless us as we give. And you can say it with me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And now we have a wonderful opportunity to listen to a pre-recorded number that was performed by Sierra Samuel back in June of 2019, titled Hands, and it was written by Jewel and performed by Jewel as well.
If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay. And not to worry, 'cause worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless, won't be idle with despair. I'll gather myself around my faith, for the light the darkness most fears. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken. Poverty stole your golden shoes, yet it didn't steal your laughter. And heartache came to visit me, and I knew it wasn't ever after. We'll fight, not out of spite, but someone must stand up for what's right. So where there's a man that has no voice, there I shall go singing. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and we are never broken. In the end, only I will pray. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and we are never broken. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and we are never broken. We are never broken. We are God's hands, God's eyes. We are God's heart. We are God's hands, God's eyes, God's heart. We are God's hands, God's eyes, God's heart.
So that completes our service today. I do want to let you know that Mike and I have tested negative for COVID at this point, so it does look like we will be able to open up again for next week. So it's looking like we're headed that direction. So I hope that we will see you in person, or we'll see you on live stream. And this Wednesday's meditation will also be live streamed only as well. And masks will be mandatory from now on, so there's no pulling them down, sitting in your seats. We are going to be really making sure that happens so that we can keep everyone safe. And we hope you're doing well. We hope your New Year's going well, and we bless you. We love you, and we are grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you.